Hello everyone, I'm back. Today we're going to be talking about the anniversary party event in Infinite Magic Raid. Third anniversary, happy birthday. Are the events any good? Well, firstly we're going to have our temple event, pretty standard. We've got Legendary Eye, that's great. If you need to, you can also buy buffs with gems. They're not too expensive, though if you've been playing for like more than a month you really shouldn't need to, but if you are a new player and you can't get through them, always remember that there are these buffs. Cheerful Tile Flip, I think this is really good because a free conversion stone, you're always going to need one, whether you're mid-game, early game, or even late game in this game, because there's always going to be a mythic that's going to release and you're probably not going to have enough shards, but you've got an E5 Nerid or Nita, maybe not Nerid or Nita, maybe like Brynhild that you don't want anymore and you want new mythic E5, so that's really good. And then we've also got this, which is really nice. So this has some pretty mid echoes here. I wouldn't suggest getting any of these first ones, because you can buy them from the Rainbow Diamond shop, but from Jingle Bell on, there are actually some really good ones. We've got Nita's, is that her name, Nita? I think that's the name. Echo, right there. Erito, really good. And a few others like Moricus, Promise of Destruction, and Willa, and some other few. I'll probably be going for Erito, because her Echo is probably the most valuable here, because it's an LTE Echo, which are harder to get than other Echoes like Moricus or Willa. And then some Rune Stones, they're good, they're fine. You know, legendaries, they are hard to get, so it's nice that they give them out, but they could at least give like 4 or 5 of these, I think would be nice, or a bit better at least. Next we've got cake decorating. Now I did actually get the first one of these because it is really worth it in my opinion. You're not only getting the first chest, which, you know, it's got some okay heroes. The best are probably Moloch, Narch, and Ronai, I would say, are probably the best ones to get out of here. Other ones are okay, like Anhijin, but they're right. And then the second one has got really good heroes in, like S tier heroes. You know, we've got Tyrell, Kalana, Fasil, and a few others like Hania, Ans, which they go together really well, and a few others like Makati. Best one to get from here really depends on your account. If you're early game, I would probably recommend getting Kalana, or maybe someone like Tyrell, Kalana, or maybe Oliver. If you're a bit more mid-game, then I'd probably suggest, like, if you've already got some pretty good damage, if none of these heroes you've got, because if you got, like, Kalana, then obviously you go for Kalana E1. If you've got, like, Vasily 2, go Vasily 3. If you've got Ans, probably don't pick Ans, because he's not really good until E2, E3, but if you have got, like, an E2 Ans, it probably makes sense to pick another Ans to get E3. But I'd say Hani is probably a really good pick here too. Do not pick either Bill or Junbei. Junbei is kind of a weird pick here. I've had Junbei. He's not amazing unless he's like E2, E3. But to be fair, that's most of the legendaries and mythics in this game. I've seen him on some quite nice internal injury damage teams in some places, so he's not terrible, but E0, he's not my first pick, definitely not. Kratos is pretty good. They're all kind of as good as each other, so really it's pick whoever you want, but if I had to say, I'd pick either Tyrell, Vasil, Kratos, or Kalana, or Hania. Out of this one, I can't really speak too much for Spirit Beasts, as I don't really look into them, as every time a new Spirit Beast comes out, it's kind of just another hole for Krakens to spend their money in. I know Briar Phantom's good. I know some people talk about the Unicorn, say that it's good. Griffin, I've heard it's pretty nice, so you'd really have to ask General Chat. They probably have a better idea than me. This, I actually do know a lot about. LTE heroes. Okay, so don't go for Jack, Santa, Paulin, or Aether, or Lydia, because they are all obtainable for free with diamonds. Really cool they made Lydia for free with diamonds too. Don't go for Jingle Bell, Jack and Roll, Hangy 3. They're just not worth it. So from Sun Wukong and on this way, everyone is kind of worth it to go for. But past from Sun Wukong, all these guys really aren't worth it to go for, especially for the price. If you don't have any LTEs, your best bets would be these three: Erito, Moronjing, and Giselle. Moronjing E0 is not great, but if you can get him E1 at least, or to E2, then he actually becomes pretty good. And Marie is a bit of a weird pick. I picked Marie because I already had one. Now this is my alt account, and Marie's coming back with Giselle. Giselle's going to be on a Halloween rerun, or at least it's rumoured to be, and Marie's going to be Christmas rerun, which is why I think it's better to pick Marie, because in the end Marie's better. We don't see Giselle as much on like level dungeon 50 teams, or like Giselle is very good hero, but her E1 is okay. It is a good exclusive, but it's not her shining point. Her shining point's like the E2, the E3, where she gets good. But for someone like Marie, her E1 is where she gets quite nice, because it's basically infinite resonance. Erito obviously being the obvious E0 free pick, as the best E0 LTE still, only matched with Giselle. Nigolith, E0, I don't think she's crazy, but I'm pretty sure, I haven't really read her exclusives in a while, but I'm pretty sure it's E1 to E2, and then E3 is cherry on the top. And then, what's her name? Felicia is really bad E0. Don't get Felicia E0. If she's like E1 and you're going to get an E2 or E3, then that would be a good idea. But E0 is a really bad idea to get Felicia. Just not good. Beatrix, I don't know too much about. Sun Wukong, he's not in the meta anymore, or at least as much as he was for a while. But he's definitely still a good pick. But he's kind of the same as the others. His E1, E2, E3, he needs to be really good. Aspera, you probably already have Aspera because she was free. I forgot to get her. Big sad. But she is pretty good. E1 and up. But I would overall recommend just staying to these four: Erito, Moronjing, Giselle, and Marie. They're also going to get quite a good amount of rewards too. These superior dragon scales are probably the best thing you can get, in my opinion, because they are the rarest and hardest to get in the game. Shards are nice too, but Spirit Dragon Scales are the best and the one you want to get. Okay, now for sign-in. Now this is probably the best part of the event. So over 21 days, sign-in period, on day 21, you will get 50 shards, which is enough to craft any of these champions. Now it sucks that the list isn't as big. I would have liked to get E2 Marie, but obviously, you know, it's still great that they're including this many LTE, especially like Moron Jing and Erato. Now for me, I'm probably going to get Erato because I already have one, so it'd be E1 Erato. But if you were starting fresh, I would just recommend going Erato, to be honest. She is the best to get E0. But if you already have like maybe an E1 or an E0 Moron Jing, I'd say go for Moron Jing. If you have an E0 or E1 Erato, go for Erato. Really depends. And then, you know, obviously don't pick Santa, Pauline, Jack, or Big Jack, or Issa, Haney 3, Jingle Bell, Lydia. Beatrix is interesting, but I don't think she's really worth. So just between Erato and Moron Jing, their echoes are all in the echo that you're going to get for the, where is it? Here we are. So all the echoes are here. Sad that Marie's echo isn't in this bunch. Would be really nice. But in my opinion, if you're getting Erato, get Erato's echo. If you're getting Moron Jing, get Moron Jing's echo. But I would say Erato E0 with her echo. I've heard is really nice. Never had her with her echo before, so I'll have to see how that goes. Next was Good Deal. I don't think the Good Deal is ever Good Deal. Like, if you're a Kraken, I guess, like if you're trying to go for Breeze, I think is his name, then I guess the Miracle Runes are fine, but at the same time, you know, I guess the Echo Runes, so I guess it makes sense if you're going for Breeze and you're serious and you want to spend a lot of money. You do get AI and some scales as well, so I guess that kind of makes sense. If you didn't know, you can get this new hero, Boris. I think he's okay. E0, he's not great. He's good, E0, but he's not close to Marie, Giselle, Moron Jing, or Erato. Not even close. So, I think E2 to E3 is where he shines. His E1 is nice, but it's not anything too crazy. But E2 to E3 is where he can get pretty nasty. But then again, it's on a Miracle, so they're quite hard to get, and they are quite expensive. And then there is a Lydia Return. I would just say stay away from this banner. I think it's a bait, because you might end up using like your 400 Supremes and 30 Sacreds, or what are they called? Yeah, Supremes, and then your Excellence, and you're probably just going to get an E3 Lysander and E2 Millet. Like, you're really not going to get Lydia, and even if you do, you know, you can still get her with diamonds, and yeah, it's going to take quite a long time to get her with diamonds, but still to the point that I would rather save for the returning Marie, Giselle, than, you know, try and get an E1 or E2 Lydia. Not that she's a bad hero. E2 and up, Lydia is very good, but, you know, still. And then we've got holiday packs. These packs aren't really the best. I mean, you've got your standard, like, kind of Jack of all trades pack there, and then this is, again, just a bit of an upgrade from that. And then this is a terrible pack. Don't buy this. Like, arcane gems are good, but they're not worth gambling for, because the amount of times that you'll do a random 1 or a 10 pull and just get a legendary arcane gem, like, it's seriously not worth it to spend real money on these things. It's kind of a stupid idea. And then the penetration armor, I mean, it's kind of obvious why you shouldn't, because not only is it gambling money on gear, but you can get penetration quite easy by just doing events and stuff like that. This really isn't worth it, not in the slightest. The echoes are all bad, to be honest. I guess this is an alright echo for Morikis. This is terrible. Oh, yeah, that's not. This is absolutely diabolical. Fearless set is really not great. It's not really used, and for the same price, you could get a really good hero, like an S tier hero, or you could get some really good gear, like Bone Erosion, like this. Now, I would say this pack is, I mean, it's a bit on the expensive side. That is true. It's $20 extra, but you're also getting a choice of an echo, and that's really worth something in my opinion. Would I buy this pack? I don't know. Obviously this is USD, so AUD is probably like $109, which is quite expensive, so I don't think I would buy this pack, because to be honest, an echo is really not as good as a just straight out champion, and you could get a hero selection chest for this price, so why would you spend $20 extra for an echo? I think the only echo worth here are for like Tyrell, Hania, Vasil, Kalana, and then these other ones are kind of just, you know, have $1 to spare, need 10 echoes for Vasil, and then yeah, not too much there. And then the good old Holiday Pass. Holiday Pass is good, is better free to play than spending. For 20 USD, you get 1,000 gems and 6 Supreme Runes. 6 Supreme Runes, 1,000 gems, and some summons on the Arcane and some eggs. For $20, that's really not worth it, in my opinion. I think it's just better to go with an epic Phantom Dragon Eye and just keep building them up so you can get more exclusives on your legendaries. I've actually been slacking, so I probably won't get the Phantom Dragon Eye, which sucks. So, and don't forget, if you click the number 3, you get 500 gems and a code that will give you some summons. So, what's my thoughts and opinion? It's an okay event, but this is really no different from like a Halloween event that we've had in the past, a Christmas event, a summer event. It's really no different, and for the 3rd anniversary, I really thought they would have, you know, done a bit more. Maybe given a better selection on the LTEs here, maybe added a few better heroes like Marie Giselle. Would have been really nice. Maybe on this cheerful tile flip, it would have included a few more echoes, maybe for some mythic heroes, or just done more in general. I mean, I'm trying not to sound entitled here, but I think, and everyone's said this, or at least quite a few people have said this in general chat too, that, you know, this is not really any different from a lot of the other events, and this is their 3rd anniversary, so it really doesn't make sense why they kind of skimped out a little bit. But if you are a new player, this is probably one of, if not the best times to start playing, as you'll not only be getting a free LTE champion, but you'll also be getting a free Dragon Eye, which is really imperative to your start, and these are really easy actually, because what you'd be aiming for is to start with maybe someone like a Morikis or a Lance, and then get a Dragon Eye from Campaign, and then another Dragon Eye from the Time Temple, and have an E2 to E3 Moricus at the start would be really crazy. And it is really crazy. I've done it before. It's actually really easy to do. So that's going to be it. Leave your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think about this event? Are you going to spend on this event? I know there are quite a few people spending. Actually, let's see, what is the highest? Wow, 800, that is quite a lot of money. Quite a lot of money. Okay, this has been going for 20 minutes now, way too long. Thank you for watching. Leave your thoughts in the comments section below. Have an amazing day.